A couple days ago, on an article I read in the Huffington Post, they talk about Donald Trump's FCC chair, his name is Ajit Pai. He used to work for Verizon. I think I've spoke about him in the past. And he is all for ending the rules of net neutrality. He loves big corporate money, and he thinks that if you were a big corporation like Comcast, I always get a little something in my throat every time I think about Comcast, or Verizon, that you should be able to get the high-speed access that you want because you can pay for it, and anybody else who cannot afford to pay for it gets left in the lurch. Netflix actually had a little vested interest in it when this first came up back in 2014 and was ruled on in 2015 by Obama that the internet should be like, the Department of Transportation. It should be like the electric company should be a service for the people and be regulated as such. Back then, when the fight first came up that they wanted to end these net neutrality rules, I called my congressman, I called my senator. I made a point to be very active about it, because when you have big, huge conglomerates that are able to pay the bill to give you the stories that they want to give you, and keep in mind, there are only 6 big media corporations that own all the newspapers, all the television, all the movies that you watch. Everything that you consume with your eyes on that television screen is run by 6 huge media companies, and they can afford to get the highest speed. They can afford to say and do whatever they want. They get all the advertisement they want. Recently, there's been a YouTube apocalypse of sorts with advertisers snatching their advertising dollars away from anything that they consider to be controversial. And news and politics is very controversial. So a lot of these people like me who are trying to give you straight news, because we do not have big donors, we do not have big advertisers. Advertising is not specifically picked. We don't get to pick our advertisers, and the people who advertise on YouTube don't get to pick what videos they go on. That's what makes it great. We get to monetize our videos, and they get to get their advertisement. So it's a very symbiotic relationship. Well, recently they decided to take away those advertising dollars from small groups like us, and like the Young Turks or Secular Talk, and these guys who are doing this for very small amounts of money and trying to give you guys real good news sources. They can't get the advertising dollars to stay afloat. Meanwhile, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of their YouTube stuff is getting all the big money advertisement that they want. And, not to mention the fact that they already have their own medium to push their, I hate to say it, propaganda at you. They don't really need those advertising dollars on YouTube. But it's just funny that all of this YouTube apocalypse came at the same time where YouTube right now is trying to push their YouTube TV channel. I think is a little interesting, because now YouTube is going to become the new TV. I mean, if you want crappy TV, then you watch your crappy TV. But YouTube is supposed to be for independent providers. So when I'm sitting here on my couch watching television and I'm getting kind of sick of what I'm watching, and I want to watch something else, I'll open up my laptop or I'll look on my phone and I'll watch something on YouTube, because that's something that interests me. But when you start taking away their advertising dollars, then they cannot continue to give you the information that you want. They can't give you the entertainment that you want because they can't afford to stay on television. And that's the whole idea behind net neutrality. Everybody gets a right to use that YouTube medium, and the more people they have following, the more viewers they have, the more money that they make. That's very democratic and very capitalist. So it should be, for this capitalist society that we live in, it should be a great thing. But now they're snatching away those dollars. Anyway, back to Ajit Pai. He loves the corporate money. He loves Verizon. He loves Comcast. He thinks that those guys should be able to pay that high fee to get their high speed and get their information out there, and the people who can't afford it should just, go away. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of people being activists, being active about this. Pai has got his own Twitter page, and he is getting hammered by all these activists that are screaming to the top of their lungs that they still want their net neutrality. I mean, think about it. If that goes away, and then voices like mine and the others that I mentioned earlier, those voices are silenced, then you're never going to be able to hear what the real truth is. You're just going to hear the talking points that they push on these mainstream media. And you're never going to get to hear the real story. But they don't want you to hear the real story. So when they're all gone, and all you have is them feeding you this sanitized propaganda, where's the freedom in that? Where's the world going to be when that's all you have? Is this sterilized infotainment? So I want you all to stay active. Call your congressman, call your senator. Really make us think about this, because right now, maybe you don't think it affects you. It affects you greatly. Down the road, you're going to notice that a lot of your freedoms and information that you're trying to get are going to be gone. Net neutrality is beyond important. I cannot emphasize how important that is. I remember reading something recently how they said that a study had not been fully complete. I think this is Ajit Pai's argument. Study had not been complete because, they never had any data regarding what net neutrality would be like if it didn't exist. Because it's always existed since its inception in 1995 until now. It has always been free to all, like a public utility. And he's saying, well, we can't, really have an educated guess because it's never been not free. So we should try it not free for a while, and then we can have a litmus test. I got a litmus test for you. Yeah. I got a litmus test for you, Ajit Pai. I just want to illustrate to everybody how important net neutrality is, and if you don't think it affects you, just read up on this guy. Find out what he's all about. Really investigate. Do your own research. Knowledge is power. And if this guy and his ilk are going to try to take it away from you, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So let's do our part. Hey, this is Antoinette from Transistor Rodeo. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe for more videos and content, and you could follow me on Twitter at Transistor Rodeo.